No problem. Thank you. To you, and thanks for joining us tonight on your hometown radio station 1360 KOHU, or if you're joining us online at GoHermiston.com. Bulldog basketball on a rare Friday night for me in the doghouse. Earlier this afternoon, the Hermiston School District broke ground for the Kennison Field renovation project. So we stayed in town tonight, and we've got the Hermiston boys playing host to the Dalles-Wahtonka's Eagle Indians. Eric Olson alongside Sonny Levy. Our studio engineer is Riley Mulvihill tonight on your home of Bulldog Sports. And tonight, the Columbia River Conference title is on the line for each program, because they can each take 2 games out of the 3 that they play this year against the Dalles-Wahtonka with victories, and they will sew up the Columbia River Conference #1 spot. Hermiston comes into tonight's action with a 7-13 record, 5-1 on top of the CRC, and the boys have won 3 in a row. The Dalles-Wahtonka Eagle Indians are 9-12 right now, 4-2 in the conference, a game back of Hermiston and sitting in second place. They won the game at the Dalles. Hermiston won the game here to open conference play. Sunny game 3, and tonight obviously a little bit more is on the line, because for the Dalles-Wahtonka, they could be playing for their postseason lives as well. If they lose and Hermiston gets in, they could be the team that gets bumped out of the postseason.
Yeah, and there's a lot for both teams. Hermiston wants to go ahead and sew up the CRC, to show that they have finally, and I believe they have for the last 6 games, gelled as a very good basketball team. They're an exciting team to watch. They're quick. The Dalles is going to have to play a very good game tonight to go ahead and keep pace with Hermiston.
When Hermiston won that opener of Columbia River Conference play back in January, it was one of those games where Hermiston really was in control for the entire game. They had a little bit of a sluggish fourth quarter, but their lead was so good at that point that they were able to go on to what doesn't look quite as dominant, but it was 50-41, and it really did seem like Hermiston was in control from start to finish.
Yeah, they were. It looked like they dominated on the boards. Almost every aspect. The defense just absolutely played great and forced, numerous Dalles-Wahtonka turnovers, and the final score just wasn't really indicative of what the outcome was.
Well, and the last time these two teams met, it was in Kurt's gym, and the Dalles-Wahtonka came away with the 60-53 win. Since then, Hermiston has rattled off 3 in a row, including 2 wins over rival Pendleton. 49-46 was Tuesday night. We'll tell you a little bit more about that as our Sway Motors pregame show continues after a 2-minute break on 1360 KOHU. they have any money? Hey Riley, let's go ahead and use the bumps again tonight. Those sounded good on Tuesday. Eric Olson, Sonny Levy with you back at Hermiston High School. The Sway Motors pregame show. It is senior night, final home game for the Hermiston boys. Next week, they go to Hood River Valley on Tuesday night and Pendleton on the 15th to wrap up the regular season. Senior night means that the starting five will include Ramon Contreras the Jr. with the four seniors, Alex Ortiz, Erica Spain, Joseph Burns, and Pedro Cadenas. On Tuesday night of this week, Hermiston got their second win of the season over Pendleton. 49-46 the final score. Jake Fligg and Alex Ortiz leading scorers of the game with 14 apiece. Sonny, when you look back at that one, obviously the win is the most important thing, but I think that you need to really make mention too of the fact that, well, they closed the game and finished at the end.
Something that they have been trouble doing all year long is finishing the game strong, and they most certainly did that. You could just see their intensity level pick up that last couple of minutes and not play not to lose. And that's what early in the year that it seemed like they were doing. They were trying to play not to lose. They found ways to lose. Against Pendleton this last time, they took care of the basketball, forced Pendleton to go ahead and come out and try and play catch up and chase them. And, when you do that in a game at this intensity, that doesn't go very well for you.
And the two guys I mentioned, the leading scorers, Ortiz and Fligg, both closed the game well and finished out strong offensively for Hermiston. The other piece that stands out is the Bulldogs, the shooting percentage is quite dramatic from the field. For Hermiston, it was better than 47.5%. For Pendleton, it was just better than 34.5%. There's about a 13% swing between those two. And Hermiston also ended up taking only 7 less shots, so they were converting at a much higher percentage and with a lot better efficiency on Tuesday night.
Yeah, they were. Early in the game, like we talked about, it looked like they were passing up good, wide-open shots and being very methodical about how they were doing. We had, some 45-second and maybe even there's a couple of minute-long possessions there where before we even look at the basket, when we turn away from maybe something that could have jump-started us early, that early three-pointer.
The Bulldogs did lose in one category that I think will be of the utmost importance here tonight, because I think there was one of the differences between the win over the Dalles-Wahtonka here and the loss there. It wasn't the only thing, but the rebounding game. And on Tuesday night, Pendleton actually comes out on top in that category, and quite dramatically, really, by 13 rebounds. And a lot of those offensive, 15 actually, Pendleton got a lot of extra chances. If the Dalles get those chances, they'll hang around against you.
Yeah, that's one thing we're going to have to do a lot more of tonight, is we are absolutely going to have to go out, put a hip or a backside into the body of somebody and keep it there. We're going to have to be able to block out, keep these guys away from getting the second and third chance points, and getting an opportunity to go to the line with the possibility of a foul.
So the Bulldogs and the Dalles-Wahtonka Eagle Indians tonight from Hermiston High School. Tip-off is about 10 minutes away. We'll take another break on the Sway Motors pregame show. When we come back, your coach's interview with Hermiston headman Adam Strom on 1360 KOHU.
And ladies and gentlemen, the Hermiston Sports Booster Club presents their 34th annual Sports Booster State Meeting Auction on March 2nd. That's coming up pretty soon. It'll be at the Hermiston Community Center. Tickets are $35 each, or you can get a table for 8 for $280. That's not a lot of savings.
It's time for X's, O's, and Q's with Hermiston head coach Adam Strom. The Dalles-Wahtonka in town tonight. It's senior night as well.
Sounds all right. All right, Riley, for this one, actually, no bump. Give me a legal ID and then straight back to me, please. And then 2 minutes on the other side of the coach's interview.
It's time for X's, O's, and Q's with Hermiston head coach Adam Strom. The Dalles-Wahtonka in town tonight. It's senior night as well, and so an opportunity to recognize your group in the class of 2013 and kind of reflect on that class for me.
You know, with me being a second year, we've kind of grown to know each other, but not in the fashion that I'm used to, as far as, because I've been in 2 programs, both for 4 years. So, but as far as those seniors go, the seniors tonight, you got a gifted athlete in Alex Ortiz. You have a good teammate in Joseph Burns, and you have a kid in Erica Spain that in all reality, him just being part of this and not talking about his production on the floor, him just being part of this is probably one of the biggest things in his life that he's experienced at this point. And then Pedro, welcome addition as far as an athlete. Being the head coach, I try to frequent multiple sporting events, and I enjoyed watching him on the soccer field, and the similarities and parallels of soccer and basketball. I thought, hey, why not? So, and I do that. I usually try to get kids to come out that are athletic, and especially those that are big and physical. And so Pedro, I know the crowd hasn't seen it, but he's given that us every day in practice. So he's also been a welcomed addition.
And these games can kind of sometimes be fun. Guys who don't necessarily get starts, like you mentioned Joseph and Pedro both, could end up, putting together a really good starting stint for you.
Yeah, and it is big in tonight's game, and sometimes just because, them being more of a role player than even a normal role player. I mean, I don't think, Pedro's going to be jacking up too many threes, or Joseph's going to be, continuously try to attack the rim for himself. So them being, more in depth as a role player, could pay big dividends for those players like Alex and, possibly like Ramon to score a few more early on.
The matchup itself, the Dalles-Wahtonka, third time you'll see them this season. They've got you once at their place, you've got them once here. What is the key against them?
The key is tempo of play. If we play a half-court game, and not that we are not capable of doing it, but they're more productive in the half-court. Just as productive as they are in the half-court, we are more productive in the full court. When things kind of get a little chaotic, helter-skelter, it seems to play in our favor. And when things are more at a controlled tempo and manageable, it seems to play in their favor.
Tuesday night, what was the difference in the win against Hermiston?
The difference is like I told them in the locker room after the game, in the post game, was we bent. We were bending multiple times throughout that game, and they had, considering what they've gone through, they had every reason to break, but they refused to break. And it wasn't, a particular play here or there that you look at as a highlight and really ignited us. It was a series of just plays where we made the right play, or we were fortunate enough to, as late in the game, Flores goes baseline. I'm kind of wanting to use some clock, and he somehow finds Eric, and that ball did everything but roll out. I definitely thought that ball was coming out, but found its way to the bottom of the net. And again, just a series of plays. It wasn't one big play, but I think the attitude that, hey, it wasn't so much refuse to lose as much as just keeping their composure.
Do you mention the concept of the conference title on the line tonight?
I said after practice yesterday in our team huddle, I just said they are playing for the same reason we are tonight. They're after the same thing, and I kind of want the boys to kind of extend that thought into a deeper thought of, hey, this is for the CRC title, at least a share of the title. And it's one of those things as a coach, you don't want to put too much pressure on them, but I think they have every reason to know that they are playing for a CRC title tonight.
And at the same time, do they understand that the title is the way into the playoffs?
I think they number crunch themselves. It's not something I engage in as far as discussion with them. The coaches know, and with all the social media we have nowadays, I know they know, and because they're interested in definitely, they want to prolong their season, and to say they're happy and content with a second place finish or a first place finish in the CRC, I don't think that would be the case. They want to prolong their season, and we obviously got to get it done tonight before we talk about postseason play.
We just met a lot of math teachers like your PA announcer, John Laux Smile. You said they crunch numbers?
Yeah, they do. Off the court. Now, on the court, it might be a little different. Off the court, they do, but in the classroom, it might be a little different there. But definitely off the court, they crunch numbers.
As always, we appreciate the time. Good luck. Have fun tonight.
Thanks, Eric.
Adam Strom with us in the pregame. We'll take a break, come back. Starting lineups brought to you by the Stratton Agency after 60 seconds on 1360 KOHU. Friday night at Hermiston High School continues, and the Sway Motors pregame show does as well. Eric Olson and Sonny Leby with you. It is senior night, and that means we will have additional recognitions given to each of the members of the band, the cheerleaders, and the four boys who will be contesting this one against the Dalles-Wahtonka's Eagle Indians. The Hermiston senior boys on the basketball team, Alex Ortiz, Erica Spain, Joseph Burns, and Pedro Cadenas. They will start along with Ramon Contreras as we get an early look at your starting lineups brought to you by the Stratton Agency. The concept of the senior night is actually one that has its positives, and it also has the potential
to have drawbacks just because of the emotions that surround it. And uniquely, you are going to be able to contribute to this a lot better than I will, Sonny. This is your daughter's senior year, so you've already gone through this through volleyball. A couple years back, you went through this a couple of times with David in wrestling and football. So give me a sense, what is it like for the parent to be involved in this?
Well, the parent to be involved in this, it's just pure excitement, especially when they're out there with their children. It's just great. You get a chance to, but you have also the realization setting in that, especially where it was with David first, football hadn't really set in, but during wrestling it really sat in at that point that, hey, this was his last hurrah as a Hermiston athlete, and then it was going to have to be going to college. Michael, it was the same way with her during the volleyball season. It really didn't sit in that much, but I'm sure that when we get on the diamond this spring, when it comes down, it's going to be a tough one. It is going to be one that you really like to want them to perform at their highest. And, and down inside each one of the seniors, that they really want to perform at their highest ability.
And for both teams, one of the things that happens is it actually kind of delays your warm-up a little bit because you've warmed up and now everybody sits for the introductions, and then from the introductions we'll go to the game, but the introductions are lengthier. And so that will be what the opposing team has to deal with is you just kind of sit there in your thoughts. And right now the Dalles-Wahtonka all in their warm-up still, all sitting there watching the ceremony itself as the first one out is Pedro Cadenas. Cadenas really joins the program this year, had played as a youth player, but Adam Strom, as you heard, talked about how he just liked what he saw from Cadenas on the soccer pitch and what he was able to do as a physical presence. And he's one of those guys, his impact for this team isn't necessarily what he's going to do even on the floor tonight or any other night. It's what he does Monday through Thursday, essentially.
Yeah, he's your quintessential great practice player. I'll tell you what, we've seen some good moments out of him, out there on the court, and he is what he's done out there to help these kids. You can see the improvement that he's come up with, and moreover, you can see exactly where this team has benefited from his presence on the court during practice and now during the games, because now they can rely upon him and have a lot of trust that they can go to him if need be out there at any time.
You heard Adam Strom, as Erica Spain, the last one introduced, talked about how important just being able to be involved with the basketball can be for that senior as Spain. I think the same argument can be made for anybody out there on the floor being recognized right now. But Joseph Burns and Alex Ortiz especially have been contributors into this program and recognized contributors. Spain's been in the program as well, but Burns' name has been there. Even though he's been a backup point guard, he's been a contributing backup point guard for a couple of years. He used to get a lot of run during the JV games, obviously was one of the leaders of that program when he was there, but then also would contribute at the varsity level, and so his senior year has had a life of its own because he's gotten the opportunity to be a leader. He might not be getting as many minutes as he'd want on the floor, but at the same time, he's another one of those glue guys who's stuck it out in the program and has played such an important role in that sense.
Oh, yeah, and when he stuck it out early in the year, that's where it really comes down to, Eric. Early in the year when he was getting all that playing time, I tell you, now he can come on the court. There is no letdown when he comes onto the court, and it's just, it's a true joy to watch him play because, he hustles, he's a chaser, he gives opposing offenders, fits out there because he's always got a hand in your face. Erica Spain, same way, early in the year, and I think, Eric, when we first saw him start to step up was when we saw him at Southridge with that game-winning shot. Eric is a young gentleman that I've seen playing around on the playgrounds since he was in kindergarten, going through the Hermiston school programs. He's been friends with my daughter ever since they were classmates all the time. So I'm real familiar with Eric, and it's good to see that he did come back out. He played all the way down in the younger ages, but it was just nice to see him come back out and get involved with this Hermiston program.
We'll reflect a bit on senior Alex Ortiz as well and get you the starting lineups brought to you by the Stratton Agency. Right now, a 2-minute break for the national anthem on 1360 KOHU. Time to introduce your starting lineups. They are brought to you by the Stratton Agency, and we'll start with the visiting Dalles-Wahtonka Eagle Indians, who come in with a 9-12 record, 4-2 in second place in the Columbia River Conference. And Bob Townsend's team is averaging 49.9 points per game, giving up 50.8 points per game. It is starting 5 tonight at the guard positions. The 5'9 junior, Stephen Bartels. The 6'5 senior, Grayson Byers. The 6'1 senior, Connor Matheson. The 6'1 senior, Hunter Malcolm. And rounding out the starting 5, the 6'1 junior, Clay Copper. Matheson, the leading scorer, the first time these two teams played back at the beginning of the season with 9 points. And it was Byers held to just 4 that really stood out as a key, because Byers averages 15 points and 12 rebounds. It didn't come anywhere close to either of those numbers.
And that was the one thing. We were able to keep him away from the basket, and make him, in fact, the Dalles pretty much kept him away from the basket. If I recall right, they kept posting him up from the free throw line and maybe a little bit above him, and not getting him the ball down in low where he could have been 6'5". He ought to be in the post. There's nobody that could have contended with him inside like that. But when you are forced to go ahead and try and get him the ball and you're a free throw line extended all around, it's awful tough for a 6'5 guy, unless he's an exceptional, mid-range shooter, to be really effective.
Starting lineups for the Hermiston Bulldogs: 7-13 coming in, 5-1 in first place in the Columbia River Conference. Will clinch the CRC title with a win tonight. They're on a 3-game winning streak, and Adam Strom team is averaging 54.7 points per game. They are giving up 58 points per game right now, although that number continues to trend downward, so for them. Starting 5 tonight, it is senior night, so you will see at the point guard position the 5'8 senior Joseph Burns. At the wing, the 5'7 junior Ramon Contreras, along with the 6'3 senior Alex Ortiz. And on the inside, the 6'1 senior Erica Spain and the 6'3 senior Pedro Cadenas. Adam Strom in his second year as the head man at Hermiston. David Faitete, his assistant coach in his first year as the varsity lead assistant, 5th year in the program. JV head coach KC Arstein, his assistant is Taylor Smith. The C-team coach is Mitch Thompson, and the freshman coach is Scott Hammond. Freshmen win by 12. The JV boys win 62-41. The rest of your Lifetime Vision Source scoreboard update includes the Hermiston girls down after one quarter of play at the Dalles-Wahtonka, 15-11, the current score. The JV girls won big, 57-21. The freshman girls won bigger, 54-4. Ione's girls won at Central Christian, 60-31. Their boys just finished off Central Christian, 76-19. Bulldogs home white uniforms. Alex Ortiz is going to jump against Grayson Byers. The Bulldogs moving left to right in the home white uniforms with purple numerals and lettering trimmed in yellow. Byers wins the tip, but it's going to be Joseph Burns to control on the far sideline. Gives to Ortiz, right wing, out to the left side for Erica Spain. Down into the left corner. Joseph Burns there. Drives baseline, stuck, kicks it back out. Contreras gives up. It's going to be off the hands of Cadenas. Foot race the other direction. Touch first by Bartels. Loose on the turf. It's picked up and thrown out to the right side by Malcolm. Byers will try a 3 to start the game off. Can't get it to go. It's knocked out of bounds by Spain out of the hands of Hunter Malcolm. The Dalles-Wahtonka with the possession on the baseline. Stephen Bartels, the junior, to put it in play. Baskets to his left. Blocks and elbows for the Eagle Indians. Throws it over to the right block. Wide open there to lay it in is Clay Copper. And that starts off the scoring here in the first quarter for the Dalles. We got to travel the ball by Joseph Burns. 30 seconds in, a turnover on Hermiston. Puts it in the Dalles-Wahtonka's hands. Byers will inbound. At a 2-0 lead for the visitors. Byers out on the far sideline. He's guarded by Ortiz. Top of the key now, turning. Matheson throws right down into the quarter. Byers will take a triple. It's going to be off the front iron. Contreras gets the rebound. The junior pushes up the floor straight on. Now gives up to Burns. Burns a jump stop. Probably got away with another walk right there. He's got it between the circles. Throws out onto the left wing for Ortiz. Down onto the wing. Cadenas stuck there in the corner, guarded by Byers. Gives back to Ortiz. Outside perimeter left. Now gives up top. It's going to be Burns with the right hand dribble. Yo-yoing up top. Throws onto the right side. Contreras there. 2-3 zone for the Dalles-Wahtonka. The two top guards are extending a bit. Space for Ortiz. He's going to attack left. Buck lay it in over the top of Copper. Tried to draw the charge. Ortiz was able to put it in easily to tie the game at 2. 6:45 left in the first quarter as Bartels will bring it across the timeline. Contreras checking him right at half court. Out on the left wing, Matheson holding over his head. Gives top of the key. Copper out to the right side. Bartels pulls up for the triple. Short off the front iron. 0 for 3 start for the Dalles-Wahtonka from outside the arc. It's going to be out of bounds far sideline. And it will be Hermiston ball. Change coming for the Bulldogs, and the senior Cadenas will come out, and he'll be replaced by the starting point guard, traditionally the 6 feet tall junior, Jake Fligg. Burns is going to bring it up, though. They will, with Burns on the floor, play Fligg at an off-guard position. Fligg is going to cross the floor, come to the top of the key. Burns gives to him now between the circles. Out to the right wing for Ortiz. Still that 2-3 zone for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Contreras drives baseline, throws it too high for a Spain stolen by Bartels. Coming the other direction. Bartels races on, slows up at the right elbow, has the ball knocked away. They're going to call a double dribble. Looked like Burns knocked it out. Bartels arguing that point, but it's going to be Hermiston ball. 6:08 left here in the first quarter, tied at 2. Columbia River Conference Championship on the line if Hermiston wins. If the Dalles-Wahtonka wins, the two teams will be in a tie. Out onto the right wing for Ortiz. Around the perimeter, Contreras left side, gives up to Fligg outside the perimeter left. Near the far sideline, he throws to the near side. Ortiz holding. With the dribble, picks up that dribble, now gives back up to Contreras, who will attack. At the right elbow, out under the wing, it's going to be knocked away out of bounds by Hunter Malcolm. Students need to give credit so far. It is silent night, so until 10 points are hit, they're going to be quiet, and then they're going to go crazy. And apparently the whole crowd is in on this, because it is incredibly quiet. I can hear myself a lot better than I normally do, and it's a little bit disconcerting, to be honest. At the left elbow, Spain up to Fligg, and now get on to the baseline left. Ortiz comes out to the right, jump stop in the lane, dumps it off, and throw away. It's going to be the Dalles-Wahtonka's possession. 5:31 left here in the first quarter, 2 apiece. You can hear the coaches yelling at each other, too. Out right side, Matheson. Matheson drives into the paint. Pull up a little lefty floater too far. And it's going to be picked up, rebound, thrown in by Byers. Byers' first bucket makes it 4-2 for the Dalles-Wahtonka. 5:15 on the clock. Ortiz kicks right corner. Contreras head fake and he walked. And that's going to be turnover. I've got 5 right now on Hermiston.
Yep, that's 5 for Hermiston, 2 for the Dalles.
And the Eagle Indians with the 2-point lead. Bulldogs will go full court pressure with 5:12 left here in the first quarter. Byers across the timeline, throws up right wing. Matheson pull-up jumper, glass no. Byers rebound, put back, nobody put a body on him. He can't hit the chippy. It's going to be knocked away by Spain. Ortiz racing down the near sideline. Slows up, throws it in. Is Spain in the block? He kicks it back out into the left corner. Contreras there, bounces to Burns. Burns will start to attack. Give to Ortiz. Ortiz up top. Throws out onto the left wing. Contreras back to Alex. Flig at the free throw line, kicks out. Ortiz, left wing, 4-3. It's going to be short and picked up by Copper on the rebound. Copper up court. It's going to be onto the left wing. Malcolm there, drives into the paint, and an offensive foul is going to be called on Hunter Malcolm. That foul pauses the clock with 4:37 left in the first quarter. 4-2 is the advantage for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Another change coming, and it is Lucas Wyatt who comes into the game. The junior stands at 6'2", will come in and replace Burns. So now Flig, Wyatt, Ortiz, Spain, and Contreras on the floor. Free throw line, Alex Ortiz kicks back out. Flig to Ortiz, left wing. He'll drive baseline. Puts up a runner. It's going to be off the front iron in the glass. It's rebounded by Matheson for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Matheson brings it up far sideline. 4:18 left in the first quarter. 4-2, the Dalles-Wahtonka's advantage. Matheson on the wing, check there, they switch. Wyatt's got him down to the right block. He lays it in over the top of Lucas Wyatt. Carter Matheson's got 2, and it's 6-2 for the visitors. Halfway through the first quarter, Wyatt down onto the baseline, kicks it all the way across. Flig jump stop into the lane, back to the left corner. Wyatt there, drives baseline again, cut off, stuck, double team, knocked away. He picks it back up, can't get the layup to go. Rebound is tipped out and lost out of bounds off of the hands of Copper. It'll be Hermiston ball on the baseline. 3:48 left in the first quarter. 6-2 is the Dalles-Wahtonka advantage. If the two teams get to 10 combined, can the fans start making some noise?
Well, you'd think so.
Ortiz throws it up top to Flig. Flig will one dribble and give out to the right side for Wyatt. Now Flig again between the circles. Edges to his left. Out to the left wing. Contreras back over to the right Wyatt. Wyatt one dribble and gives to Ortiz. Ortiz to Contreras. Now back to Ortiz against the zone for the Dalles-Wahtonka. 2-3 look. Flig into the free throw line. Stripped away. Copper's got it. He gives it up. Bartel's coming down to the near side. Down into the left block against Ortiz. And he gets the foul. Gets the ball to lay on the rim and go. And it's going to be a 3-point play opportunity. The old-fashioned way for the Eagle Indians. The steal by Copper, I think Bartel's actually knocked it loose, and after jarring it loose, he came the other end of the floor and laid it in. Foul goes against Ortiz. It's Alex's first. First on Hermiston. Changes coming for the Eagle Indians, as Matheson will come out, as will Copper. Into the game, Austin Wilson, a 6'3" senior for the Dalles-Wahtonka. And along with him, Justin Sugg, a 5'10" senior. 9-2 after the free throw goes for Bartels. Early on for the Dalles-Wahtonka. 3:15 left in the first period. Flig out on the left wing. Is Spain up top and out to the right side. Contreras outside the perimeter. Between the circles again for Wyatt. Wyatt to Contreras, circling around left corner for the triple off the front iron, and the rebound is secured by Malcolm. Malcolm flings it near sideline. Bartels cross the timeline, now works into the block. He'll take it in, blocked away there, and it was Wyatt who got the block on Bartels to deny the shot, but it's out of bounds off of Hermiston. The Dalles-Wahtonka with the inbound. 2:55 left in the first quarter. 7-point lead for the visitors. Blocks and elbows to start. Bartels pass is tipped up in the air by Ortiz. Flig's got it up court. Contreras all by himself. The right hand lay-in. That ends a scoreless drought for Hermiston. And with 2:45 left, the Bulldogs' deficit is 5. Malcolm bounce pass across to the right side. Foul going to come against Spain as Sugg put it up. And so 2 free throw shots coming. 9-4, the Dalles-Wahtonka's advantage. The 2 free throws coming after the Eric Spain foul, his first, second team.
Eric, right now we are kind of, defensive-wise we're standing around, not getting back, near quick enough as we should be able to. They're coming back at most of the times on a 3-on-1 break off a missed shot.
First free throw, good. As Spain comes out, Michael Gritz comes in. The junior gets the rebound right on the inbound. 6'3" junior. And so a 1-for-2 trip for Sugg. The Dalles-Wahtonka in front 10-4. 2.5 minutes left in the first quarter. Ortiz right wing. He's going to drive baseline right around defender. Jump stop to the left. Blocked away by Byers up against the wall.
But you know what, Eric? That might have got blocked, but that was the first time we've actually, 2 times in this game, we've actually taken it towards the basket, tried to go into the key.
Right into Wyatt. He'll lay it in. Lucas Wyatt was wide open on the inbound. Each team has executed an inbound where the defense completely lost one of the 5 guys. Wyatt's first bucket makes it 10-6. A reach and foul on Contreras. Other end of the floor. It's going to be the 3rd team foul on Hermiston. First on Ramon. 2 minutes, 12 seconds left in the first quarter. And it's 10-6 in favor of the Dalles-Wahtonka. Sluggish start for Hermiston, but the Eagle Indians haven't been able to capitalize. Inbound, a block going to be called. Wilson is fouled by Grits, and so 2 more free throws coming. Yeah, as Nyko got him on the arm along with the basketball. So 2 free throws for the senior off of the bench, Austin Wilson. He had 4 points in the Dalles-Wahtonka's first game against Hermiston this season. The one that the Bulldogs ended up winning 50-41.
Misses on the first one, long, and up for the second.
Second one back iron miss. Grits gets another rebound out to the far sideline. Flig. Hermiston down by 4. Flig out to the right wing. Ortiz catches it. It's a tip pass. He gets it back up top for Wyatt. Wyatt controls, gives to Contreras. Left side comes back up top and to Ortiz on the right wing. Under 2 minutes left in the first quarter. Bulldogs dealing with a 4-point deficit. Contreras has it. Out to the right side. Ortiz gives back to Contreras. Hermiston keeps motioning around. Ortiz left corner. Against Byers. Byers falls. Ortiz step back triple. Knocks it down. Alex Ortiz has got 5, and Hermiston is a point away from getting the crowd into this one. It's 10-9, the Dalles-Wahtonka. Other end, Ortiz gets a block. Up against the wall. It'll be the Dalles-Wahtonka ball. 89 seconds left in the first quarter. The Eagle Indians lead is down to just 1. Zach Nurden, who checked into the game, a 6'3 junior inbounds. It's Byers coming to the left, around and out, rebounded a foul against Grits. Grits got the rebound. He was fouled by Austin Wilson, who just kind of swiped him across the back of the head. It'll be Wilson's first and the second team foul against the Dalles-Wahtonka. Bulldogs with the ball, trailing by 1, but got a chance to take the lead, got a chance to get the crowd into the game with 1:25 left. It's silent night, so the crowd will start making some noise for the Hermiston side once the Bulldogs get to 10. Wyatt down under the baseline. Grits gives up. Ortiz, baseline 15, fading away, back iron off. Rebound there for Flig. He'll get an extra possession for Hermiston. 1:10 left. Left wing, Ortiz drives baseline, jump stopped into a double team, kicks back out to Flig. Wyatt to the right wing, it's going to be Contreras. Contreras dribbles with the left hand, back up top, gives to Flig. Flig jumps up into the lane, dumps it off under the basket. Grits. Grits' pass is stolen away. Taken by Wilson. Wilson throws it to the near sideline, and it's up across the timeline to Malcolm. Malcolm across. Byers, top of the key for the 3. Knocks it down from deep. Grayson Byers stepped into an NBA-type 3, 13-9, the Dalles-Wahtonka with 40 seconds left. Ortiz out on the left wing. Contreras. And Contreras gives back to Alex. Ortiz up top. Contreras open left wing. Kicks it across to the right side for Flig. Back to Alex. Pass to the left baseline now for Grits. Grits there up top for Ortiz. And now Contreras again out on the left side. Baseball pass to the right. Flig jump stops through 2. Kicks it up top. Extra pass Contreras. Left wing for a triple. Back iron off. And the rebound is secured by Malcolm. Hunter Malcolm's got it for the Dalles-Wahtonka. 10 seconds left of the first quarter. Last shot for the Eagle Indians up by 4. Nurden dribbling up top against his opposite number, both wearing 2s. Flig, it's going to be a flung up shot, and Flig's going to be called for a foul with 7/10 of a second left. Jake Flig's first. It is the 4th on Hermiston, and 2 free throws coming with less than a second left of the first quarter for Hunter Malcolm. Malcolm has 2 free throws coming, scoreless right now. He had 6 here at Hermiston the first time these two teams met. Can't get the first free throw to go. Dalles-Wahtonka as a team right now is 1 of 4 from the free throw line. And the second 15-footer up and good for Malcolm. At the buzzer, Ortiz gets the shot off, but it's well short. So after 1, 14-9, the visitors on top. We'll be back in 60 on 1360 KOHU. Started the second quarter at Hermiston High School. Eric Olson and Sonny Levy with you on your hometown radio station 1360 KOHU. Alex Ortiz and Grayson Byers each have 5 points in the first quarter of play, but Byers' supporting cast is getting the ball in the bucket too. And the Eagle Indians lead is 5, 14-9. The Dalles-Wahtonka will start with the ball. Wide open, Malcolm loses it, dribbles off his own toe, and it goes out of bounds. Hermiston possession. Ortiz is going to bring it across the timeline, straight on, throw it out on the left wing Contreras. 14-9, the Dalles-Wahtonka's advantage. Out onto the right wing. Baseball pass down inside. Alexander scores. There's the crowd. Colby Alexander makes it 14-11. Hopefully the payoff was worth it, because this crowd, this entire game was without energy for an entire quarter. Rebound on a miss for Hermiston. Down by 3. It's going to be onto the baseline. Little floater up. It's going to be off. Alexander can't get the rebound, but Ortiz secures it. Down under the baseline. Flig. It's wide, Kicks out to Contreras. Back up top and out of the near side. Lost the ball. It's going to be taken by Nurden. Who is wearing 10? Zimmerly, okay. He didn't have a hair the last time he played varsity ball. Fadeaway jumper is going to be off by Copper, but the rebound is tipped back to Copper, and so it's still the Dalles-Wahtonka's ball. Goes right through the hands of Malcolm. Malcolm gets it out on the left wing. Working against Dylan Zimmerly. Kicks it out, and the Dalles-Wahtonka reset. Stephen Bartels, Zach Nurden, Hunter Malcolm, and the ball's going to be lost away. Saved by Zimmerly. Ortiz the other end for a dunk on senior night. No, how about a two-hand play? Didn't quite have it lined up, so he couldn't dunk it down, but now Hermiston is down by just 1 again. The other end of the floor, bucket shot and made by the Dalles-Wahtonka. Contreras across, wide on the baseline. Back up top to Ortiz. Near side, Zimmerly, and it's going to be Contreras. Zimmerly between the circles. Kick it over to Zimmerly from Contreras, now on the left wing. Alexander on the baseline, kicks it back up on top. Zimmerly, inside to White, dumps to Alexander. It's going to be tipped away from him, out of bounds. Hermiston ball. 5 minutes, 38 seconds left in the second quarter. Hermiston down by 3, 16-13. Grayson Byers returns to the game and will replace Malcolm. And into the game for Hermiston, Jake Flig. He's replacing Ortiz. Flig will inbound on the baseline. Baskets to his left. Zimmerly in the left corner. Back up top to Contreras. Circling around, it's going to be Flig. Gets around his defender at the free throw line, kicks. Zimmerly left corner, 4-3. It's going to be well short. And boxed out well was Alexander by Byers. It's the Dalles-Wahtonka with the possession. Bartels will bring it up. Flig will pick him up in the man-to-man defense across the timeline. Left wing for Nurden. Nurden down inside Byers, and a foul is going to be called. Colby Alexander trying to body up the big man Byers for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Called for his first foul, 16th foul on Hermiston. And Ortiz is quickly into the game, and Alexander is out. 5:18 left in the second period. Bartels to inbound, blocks and elbows for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Still needs to get it in. Throws it in up top, and Matheson controls. Matheson back. Bartels to the triple on the left side, nothing but net. Stephen Bartels hits a three and a timeout. 30-second timeout for Bob Townsend. The Dalles-Wahtonka jumps in front 19-13 with a little 5-point flurry.
Eric, that first basket we didn't know, that came by Bartels also on the quick jumper to give him 7 for the game already right now. Excuse me, 8 for the game.
Yeah, Bartels with 8 right now is the leading scorer in this ballgame. Ortiz has 7 for Hermiston. But the Bulldogs are down by 6. Hermiston will have the possession. This was a 30-second timeout for the Eagle Indians. Lucas Wyatt, Jake Fligg, Dylan Zimmerly, Alex Ortiz, and Ramon Contreras. I wish my hair grew as fast as Zimmerly's did.
Yeah.
Out to the left wing. Down inside of the free throw line, knocked away from Ortiz. Bartels has it, coming the other direction. Near sideline, works into the paint, puts his shoulder down. Blocking foul's going to be called on Contreras. Ramon couldn't quite get the right angle, and Bartels attacking the bucket. Got the foul on Contreras. It's Ramon's second. And so 2 free throws coming for Stephen Bartels. 5'9" junior had 11. Had 5 in the first meeting. He's got 9 now. CJ Flores is going to check in for Contreras, who just picked up his second. Flores, the 5'9" junior. A little bit battling a cold here. Halftime on the Lifetime Vision Source scoreboard. Pendleton Girls up 32-13. There was a 20-point second quarter run. Ellie Richards hit 5 3-pointers. Right wing Fligg for a 3. Can't make it. Wine gets the rebound. Kicks it back out. Fligg drives in. Kicks out left corner. Zimmerly passes up to Ortiz. The long 3. Alex Ortiz has got 10. And the Bulldogs back down by 4. 20-16. Other end of the floor. Bartels can't make the shot. Saved back in. It wasn't Bartels on the first shot. Bartels has it now, and he runs right over the top of Ortiz, who stood there easily to take the offensive charge as Bartels gave him about 5 steps to realize where he was going. The first missed shot was by Nurden. Each of them have those white compression sleeves on their right arm. And actually, Matheson's got his on his left arm. Are they fashion statements, or are they actually there for a medical purpose? Ortiz out on the right wing. Gives to Flores. Flores underhand flip to Fligg. Now back to Ortiz right side. Onto the baseline line up top. Flores. He'll take a triple. It's going to be short. Just didn't quite get that one in rhythm. Pulled down by Bartels. Bartels will slow it up a bit at the halfway point of the second quarter. 20-16, the Eagle Indian advantage. Nurden out on the left wing, and they throw it around the right perimeter. Byers throws the ball away. It's Fligg with the steal. Coming the other direction, Fligg near sideline. Works back up top. Hands off. Ortiz up top of the key. Throws it inside. Wide open. White kicks out to Flores. Flores circles into the paint. Bounce pass to the far sideline for Fligg. Fligg up top. Ortiz to reset. 3.5 minutes, a little bit more than that in the second quarter. Fligg a 3 on the left wing, knocks it down. Hermiston has 3 3-pointers in the game, and they're down by 1 at 20-19. Up court, wide open to Wilson. He gives it up. The jumper off the back iron on a miss by Matheson. Rebound put back. Nurden can't put it in play, and then Ortiz is fouled by Matheson. Boy, that's one of those, if it was soccer, you'd just play advantage, because Hermiston had a 3-on-1 coming the other direction on the hold by Matheson. His first, 4th team foul on the Dalles-Wahtonka. Nurden comes out, Matheson comes out, Wilson comes out as well. Copper back into the game along with Sugg. Byers stays, Bartels stays, and Malcolm is in. Onto the right wing, CJ Flores. The Dalles-Wahtonka playing a pretty high 2-3 zone. Left wing, Flig another triple. This one's foot iron off, and the rebound is secured by Malcolm for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Near sideline, Bartels, the point guard, will bring it up. The junior working against CJ Flores. Across the timeline, Flores hounding him there. Out onto the near wing, and it's going to be Malcolm. Malcolm around a pick for Byers. Pick and roll. Byers left side. Runs right over the top of Flig. And Byers in a couple of possessions for the Dalles-Wahtonka. There's another offensive foul on the Eagle Indians. Byers first, 15th foul on the Dalles.
Great job by Jake that time of seeing what Byers is going to do and just taking it. I mean, he just stood his ground.
It's amazing what a little gym energy will do for you. Flig out onto the right wing, outside perimeter. Kicks it back over to Flores' left side. 2:34 left in the second quarter. Ortiz left wing. Drives right around Byers. Kicks it into the paint. Spain coming with the left hand. Can't make it. And the rebound is secured. It's going to be Sugg who picks it up. Check that Malcolm. Gives to Bartels. 20-19 still for the Dalles-Wahtonka. 2:20 left in the second quarter. On to the left wing for Malcolm. Malcolm, one dribble to his right. Zimmerly got him on the arm. Foul number 8. So Malcolm's going to go to the line with a 1-on-1 situation. Zimmerly picks up his first, and it is the 8th team foul, as I said. So, 1-on-1 situation for Malcolm, who is 1 of 2 from the line, to extend the Dalles-Wahtonka's 1-point lead with 2 minutes and 13 seconds left in the second quarter. And the free throws, no. Spain the rebound, they get it up court. Flig onto the right wing. Catch there, Burns. Burns gives back to Jake. So Burns, Flig, Flores, Ortiz, and Spain right now. Driving baseline, Flores loses it. Bartels picks it up for the Dalles-Wahtonka. 2 minutes left in the second quarter, and a 1-point lead for the visitors. Across the timeline, Flores makes him give it up. Byers out on the right wing. Hounded by Spain right now. Up top, Sugg, head fake, steps to his right, tries the jumper, back iron miss, and Flores gets the rebound. Gives to Ortiz. Ortiz, near sideline, Flig. Across the timeline, back to Ortiz. Comes to his right, jump stop around the defense. Can't get it to go off of the front iron. It rolls off the front and into the hands of Byers. Byers, full court pass, out onto the left wing for Malcolm. Malcolm gives back to Bartels to reset. 90 seconds left in the second quarter. Still 20-19 is our score. Bartels gives to Sugg. Sugg inside to Byers. Byers has it under the hoop. He's stuck, and he stepped out of bounds. Hermiston ball.
Yeah, he was a whole half a foot out of bounds on his tennis shoe down on the line. It looked like he slipped a little bit, Eric, and he didn't expect that left foot to go ahead and slide that way.
Joseph Burns onto the right wing for Hermiston. The Bulldogs still down by 1. Now Flig on the left side. Back to Burns between the circles. Flig to Burns to Flig to Burns. And now right side, Ortiz was picked. Coming the other direction, Malcolm stepped in front of the pass, takes it all the way up, right hand lay-in. Malcolm's first field goal, and the Dalles-Wahtonka's lead is out to 3 at 22-19, 48 seconds left in the second quarter. Burns gives Ortiz up top. Alex has 10. Right quarter, Flig another triple. This one's off the front iron, and the rebound secured by Byers. In a crowd, Flores tried to tie him up. They didn't give him the tie-up. Flig gets a steal. Dumps it off as Spain's not there. Diving to the floor. Spain gets it, gives to Flig. Flig out left wing. Ortiz has it. At the left elbow, jumper off the glass. It rattles out, but he was called for a foul on the floor first. It's going to be Hermiston ball after the Dalles-Wahtonka foul on Bartels. The blocking foul is his second, and it's the 16th foul on the Eagle Indians. Nice steal by Flig under the basket, and Hermiston will take a 30-second timeout. Down by 3 in the second quarter, 22-19 with 29.6 seconds left. Hermiston fell behind 9-2. They made a little run to get it back to 10-9, but then the Dalles-Wahtonka scored the last 4 points of the first quarter and led by 5 after a period. 14-9, Hermiston opened up with a couple of buckets, again got to within 1 at 14-13. Dalles-Wahtonka scored a couple. It was all Bartels to get back out in front by 6. Hermiston has again cut it to 1 at 20-19, but the Dalles-Wahtonka is in front by 3 right now. So it has been back and forth, but Hermiston has never at any point been able to take the lead. They only tied it once at 2-2. Bounce pass inside. Flores coming to the right. Can't get the lay-in on the inbound play, and Byers gets the rebound. Bounce pass to Nurden, far sideline. Nurden's pass is tipped out of bounds far side by Ortiz. It's going to be a sideline inbound at half court for Byers. with 22.4 seconds left in the second period. Into the backcourt for Nurden. Up 22-19, the Dalles-Wahtonka, if they hold for last shot, will go into the locker room up by at least a bucket. Baseline Copper kicks up back top Nurden. Out to the right side, Matheson, and Nurden again to Matheson. Back and forth they go. Townsend trying to call play. Into the right corner for Byers. 3 seconds left. Byers step back. 3, knocks it down. That'll be the last bucket of the first half. Byers hits a big one to send the Eagle Indians into the locker room. Up again. They called it just a 2. Right now the scoreboard says 24-19. So that was just a 2 for Byers out in the corner. And it was his first points of the quarter. He's got 7. Bartels has 9. And the Dalles-Wahtonka up 24-19 as we go to the half. Back in 2 minutes on 1360 KOHU. At the half, the visitors, the Dalles-Wahtonka Eagle Indians 24, Hermiston at 19. Sluggish first half of this game, as we documented right before the halftime break. The Dalles-Wahtonka has led throughout. Hermiston tied it at 2-2, but that was the best they could do. Got it to 1 a number of times, and then the Eagle Indians closed with a couple of buckets to make it 24-19. It was confirmed that was just a 2 for Byers down in the right corner. He was way out on the perimeter, but must add a foot on the line, and that's the opposite side from us. So that's how the Eagle Indians go into the halftime break with the 5-point lead. I would never, Sonny, question the decision-making of the student section here at Hermiston High School. I have always been a staunch and true supporter of their work, but I don't think Silent Night worked. In fact, I think that it meant the entire gym was dead for the entire first quarter and about a minute into the second quarter, and Hermiston didn't get going until they got those points that made it 11-14, their deficit by 3, and finally the crowd got into the game.
Yeah, I don't like it. You know, most of your, whether the crowd knows it or not, 50% of a basketball game, or scoring-wise, comes from the emotion of the crowd. You don't have a crowd into the game, you can be as good as you want to. If you don't have a crowd into your game, you're going to struggle. We struggle. The kids, evidently the players must have known what was going to go on. I'm from Hermiston. I'm an alumni. I hated it. That was stupid, in my opinion.
Here's what I would say. If you wanted to do it with the girls against Hood River,
Yes.
okay, that's fine. 10 points is going to come in like 2 minutes. In Columbia River Conference boys action this year, everybody's close. I wouldn't give up the home court advantage because winning on the road has been incredibly tough in this conference all year. Everybody has seen that, including Pendleton. Everybody but Hood River, who's winless, has seen that. Is that you lose on the road? That's not the biggest deal this year in this conference, but you got to protect home court. I think they gave up a quarter of an advantage, and now there's going to be noise coming in the second half, and now the crowd's really got to provide the energy, and the team's got to provide it themselves too. They've got to come out and they've got to play more aggressive, smarter basketball here in the second half, or this potential Columbia River Conference title hangs in the balance.
Yeah, it does, and you'd hate to give up a potential conference title to give it up a quarter like we did. I just didn't. I don't get it. I didn't like it. I can't boo over the radio, but boo. It was something that you don't expect a Hermiston crowd, especially in the starting house.
It was real coordinated. I will give them. And here's what happened: was when they got loud, that did what it needed to do. But they got to provide that energy the rest of the way. Is what I would say.
I would say that exactly. And we didn't see that real heavy, loud noise for the last 4 minutes of that second period. You really didn't. It quieted down to a kind of almost a normal Hermiston crowd, in the start of a game. But you're exactly right.
It matched what the game was providing as well.
Yeah, and I've never been a proponent of a silent crowd. As well as I do. I'd love to see Hermiston come in here and pack this house and blow the roof off every single night. And that's what they need. A lot of these seniors, and who knows what if the seniors actually knew what was going on out there, the players?
Yeah, everybody knew.
Okay, but the exception was this. You had guys out there that usually feed off of emotion. And there was no emotion being able to come from those players because we never attacked the basket. We stayed out. We got inside the key 3 different times during that whole first period. Scored on 2 of them. But that was all we had.
Yeah, the only counter argument I could make to it for the players and the emotion thing, Summer League is a dead quiet gym too, and the guys that do have to be able to come out and provide themselves.
Yeah.
It's just nice to know you got hundreds of people behind you. So hopefully they're behind you here in the second half. We got to get a break in. 24-19 is the score here at the halftime break. We'll be back in 2 minutes on 1360 KOHU. What was the rebound total?
18 for the Dalles.
Huh?
18 for the Dalles.
Yeah.
12 for Hermiston. Wow, guys. It's amazing over there. It's still quiet.
Well, it's because they're a Hermiston crowd. second half on the way here at Hermiston High School tonight. Eric Olson and Sonny Libby with you on your hometown radio station, 1360 KOHU. And I think they'll keep us as the home of Bulldog Athletics even after the last segment. 24-19 is the score. And the scoring in the first half for Hermiston. Alex Ortiz leads the way with 10. After that, Flig's got 3, 2 from Contreras, 2 from Alexander, 2 from Wyatt. On the Dalles-Wahtonka side of things, Stephen Bartels has 9, Grayson Byers has 7. 3 for Malcolm, 2 each for Matheson and Copper, and Sugg has 1. Some of the team stats that stand out, Sonny.
Let's go with free throws. I'll come back to that. Rebound-wise, 18 for the Dalles-Wahtonka, 12 for Hermiston. Turnover-wise, the Dalles-Wahtonka only 8 turnovers. Hermiston with 10. But the biggest thing was free throw-wise, the Dalles-Wahtonka 4 for 11. They're not making many of them, but they've won 11 times. Hermiston, that shows how aggressive they've been going to the basket. No foul, no trips to the free throw line yet.
Well, and it shows how the Dalles-Wahtonka has left 7 points on the board. This is only a 5-point game. And Hermiston, in a way, has a great opportunity because of that. As they start the second half with the ball, Contreras, Flig, Wyatt, Ortiz, who gets the pass inside, he lays it in and gets fouled to go to the line to try to complete a 3-point play the old-fashioned way. Alex Ortiz makes the opening bucket. Byers committed the opening foul of the second half. And so it is going to be the first team foul here of the second half. Ortiz at the line for Hermiston's first free throw shot of the game. It is up, it is good. Alex has 13, and the Bulldogs are down by just 3. 2, 24-22. A jumper on the other end of the floor, though, is knocked down for the Dalles-Wahtonka by Copper. He's got 4 now. Ortiz kicks it across the left wing. Contreras back to Ortiz. Right side, a long 3. A line drive shot off. Wyatt fighting for the rebound. As Spain gets it, actually. Gives back to Ortiz. Jump stops in the lane. Pass to Wyatt. It's going to be tipped out. Last touch by Lucas. Dalles-Wahtonka with the ball. They are up 26-22. 34 seconds gone in the second half. Connor Matheson. Byers open for 3 on the right wing. Well too long. Byers gets his own rebound in the left corner. Bounce down onto the baseline. Hunter Malcolm there on the block. Kicks it back out. Byers tees another triple. Round and out. And the Spain gets the rebound this time to Ortiz. Ortiz look it up court. He'll dribble it himself. Right into Copper. Copper gives to a Spain. Now out to the left wing. Contreras up top and down over to the right side. Ortiz shimmies into the lane. Puts up a floater. He gets fouled. 2 shots coming. So for the Dalles-Wahtonka, Stephen Bartels, Grayson Byers, Connor Matheson, Hunter Malcolm, Clay Copper in the second half. And that foul went against Copper, his first. Second team foul on the Dalles-Wahtonka. On the Lifetime Vision Source scoreboard, after 3 quarters of play, Hermiston's girls have a precarious lead, but it is a lead, 36-30 at the Dalles-Wahtonka. A win for them, they're conference champions. A win here for Hermiston, the boys are conference champions. Ortiz makes 2. Could this be the night where he explodes? 15 right now. Hermiston down by 2 at 26-24. It would be fitting if Alex Ortiz had his best night on senior night. Pass tipped out of bounds by Contreras into the Dalles-Wahtonka bench, so the Eagle Indians have an near side inbound. Bob Townsend, longtime head coach at the Dalles, with his arms crossed, paces away from Byers, who'll inbound right in front of where the coach stands. Byers to half court. Now, reaching foul is going to be called on Contreras. He got the ball, but he also bumped Bartels. And for Ramon, that's his 3rd. And so we'll see how long he stays. It's not going to be very long at all. Contreras will come out. Hermiston will go bigger. Michael Gritz checks in. Gritz will check Matheson. Flig will move on to the point guard, Bartels. Into the backcourt, Bartels brings it across the timeline. 6:40 on the clock, third quarter, 26-24. Matheson, a pick and roll, throws it out of bounds. Byers saves it in. Under the basket, Malcolm right there reverses it in. Should have never worked, but it did. 28-24 for the Eagle Indians. 6:22 on the clock, third quarter. Ortiz, a flying shot the other end as he floats down to the baseline, gets fouled. He'll go to the line and shoot a couple more. Apparently you weren't the only one who wanted to see Hermiston attack the basket a little bit more because they're getting to the line now.
Well, that's what brings excitement. That's what now you're getting points on the clock when it's stopped. Getting back into the game.
Nolan Ortiz is 4 for 4 from the line. The foul on Malcolm, his second. Third team foul on the Dalles-Wahtonka. They've all been fouls on Ortiz attacking the hoop. He's made all 5 of his free throws. And Hermiston again is down by just 2 at 28-26. The other end of the floor, a foul is going to send Copper to the line to shoot 2. A long pass up court as Hermiston was slow to get back on after the made free throws. And as Spain commits the foul, his second, to send Copper to the line for 2. Last home game of the season for Hermiston. And I'll guarantee that, because if they win the conference championship and they get into the postseason, they will travel. And if they win that play-in game, which will be probably the 24 seed versus the 9 seed, they will travel again to the number 1 seed. Free throws made, 30-26. Ortiz the other end, 18-footer knocks it down. Somebody's feeling it, and that could be good news for Hermiston, 30-28. Copper's 2 free throws, he's got 6 now. Bartels up top for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Bartels attacks and backs up. Gives to Byers, out to the right side. Matheson there, up top, Copper over to the left. Byers guarded by Gritz. Thrown right off of the hands of Malcolm the other direction. White all by himself will take it in with the right hand and lay it home. Ties the game at 30. It is the first tie since 2-2. 5:34 on the clock here in the period. Fadeaway Matheson the other end. Bad shot, missed early in the possession, and the rebound. Gritz, up court. Ortiz coming to right side, hangs in the air and lays it home. Hermiston's first lead of the game comes at 32-30 with 5:17 left in the clock. And here is Alex Ortiz. He's got 21. Bartels gets picked. Ryan coming the other direction, running with Byers, turning him around, other way, and the other way, and then gets fouled. He'll go to the line to lay in 2. And Byers goes to help him up and says, you know what, nice job. Yeah. Because Byers was trying to backtrack but kind of run instead of backpedal. And Wyatt saw that and just kept turning him back and forth, and got Byers off balance. And all he could do was foul Wyatt to send him to the line for 2 free throws. First one rattles out, and Lucas will have one more. Bartels has to come out. Zach Nurden comes in. Bob Townsend immediately comes to Bartels and talks to him about getting picked 2 times in a row. White misses both. Is Spain fighting for the rebound? Can't get it. Last touch by the Dalles-Wahtonka. Bulldog ball. Here's some energy. Up by 2, 32-30 with 5:03 left in the third quarter. Gritz will put it in play on the baseline. Baskets to his right. Up top to Fligg, who backs up towards half court to set up. Bounce pass Ortiz on the left. Hands off to Gritz, circling around to the right side. Back to Fligg. Top of the key. 4-3. Back iron miss. And the rebound is going to be secured by Matheson. Matheson looking for a guard. He's going to dribble it himself down the near sideline. Got half court, gives to Nurden. The Dalles-Wahtonka with the possession, down 32-30 with 4:41 left in it. Carry of the ball. Another turnover. Pressure by Ortiz forces it. And the Bulldogs have the possession on the far sideline. 4:41 left in the third period. 32-30. Hermiston on top. Ortiz left wing, dumps it off in the pick and roll. Spain couldn't quite hold it, and the rebound is going to be taken by Byers. Check that, it's Matheson. Up court, too far, thrown away by Nurden, and Bob Townsend's looking for a point guard who can keep possession of the ball. He can't get it with Nurden, he couldn't get it with Bartels. Bulldogs with the possession, still up by 2. 4:20 left in the third period. Handoff, it's going to be Wyatt circling to his left. Back out of the right wing to Fligg, who's directing traffic. Gritz up top, spins to his right, back to a pass. Fligg keeps it in, dumps to Spain. It's back to Fligg. He says he stepped out. No, he reestablished himself back in. That's a bad call.
That was a very bad call. This is not the NFL where you can't come back in before another player touches the football.
So it's the Dalles-Wahtonka with the possession. Full court pressure shown by Hermiston. Dalles isn't going to have any of it. They'll just throw it up court to Matheson across the timeline. Gives to Nurden between the circles. Halfway point of the third quarter. Bulldogs still up by 2, 32-30. Now Matheson between the circles. And out to the right side for Byers. Bounce pass inside Nurden. Spins to his left. Flings one up. Didn't hit anything. Hermiston tipped it. And so it's going to be the Eagle Indians with the baseline possession. Cole Schwarzy's going to come into the game for Hermiston. And it will be Spain who he replaces. Corner triple way down the left corner. Byers hits it.
Wow.
Practically out of bounds, and he hit a corner three, and the Dalles-Wahtonka's in front by 1 at 33-32. Eagle Indians take a 30-second timeout with 3 minutes and 43 seconds left in the period. So the timeout for Bob Townsend's team, who has given Hermiston gift after gift as far as possessions through the turnover. In the Dalles, 4 minutes left. The score is tied at 38. The pit is just so tough to play. In fact, when the Dalles-Wahtonka beat Hermiston, the girls, in the Dalles to open up Columbia River Conference play on January 15th, the very first loss for Hermiston in the history of Columbia River Conference action, the student section, and it was packed that night, streamed onto the court. They could get 2 wins against Hermiston this year. Right corner, Ortiz holding there. Ortiz throws it inside, Flig on the baseline, under the basket, stuck, needs help. And the 3 and the key is going to be called. Dalles-Wahtonka with the possession on the Hermiston turnover with 3 minutes and 20 seconds left in the third period. 33-32. Nurden gives up top into the hands of Austin Wilson. Wilson throws wide open inside, back to Nurden on the give and go, and he lays it home. First bucket of the ball game for Zach Nurden, the junior. Other end of the floor. And we got a clock problem. Hermiston was going to get a bucket there. And we have like a scoreboard problem, I guess. It is 35-32. Vern Carlson at the scorer's table, along with Mike Kay.
Folks, this would be a good time to announce the winner of the 50-50 draw. Take up the ticket.
And
Give that ticket
it is a clock issue, I believe.
$68.50. Thank you for all participating. Helping others.
It's at 3:01 right now.
It is 419-516. 419-516.
And now it's down to 2:59. And I don't know if the clock hasn't caught up. So 2:59 is what we've got in the third quarter right now. 35-32, the Dalles-Wahtonka. Bulldogs possession. Flig's dribbling across the timeline, edging out to his right. Free throw line, Wyatt. Inside the free throw line, bounce pass onto the baseline, and now up top for Flig. Right side for Ortiz, who's got 21. Quiet for the last couple of minutes. Left corner, Flig there. Stuck, needs help. Double team, throw it away, knocked down, and it's going to be into the hands of Byers. The Dalles-Wahtonka with the possession on another Hermiston turnover. Up court Sugg. Right shoulder, he gets it and can't get it to go right over the top of the rim, and then a foul in the backcourt. Neither team is executing with a lot of regularity right now. 35-32, the visitors on top of Hermiston. 2:29 left in the third period. A lot of empty possessions, both ends of the floor. Down on the baseline, Gritz's pass is tipped into the hands of Sugg. Now Nurden's got it for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Gives to Byers. Back to Nurden, the junior who scored the last time for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Gives to Wilson. Byers inside, Nurden's got it against Ortiz, coming to the left, lays it in. Nurden makes it 37-32. The Dalles-Wahtonka's on a 7-point run. 2 minutes left in the third period. High pass, Schwarzy's off his fingertips. It was too high for him, out of bounds. And it's going to be the Dalles-Wahtonka's ball again. Hermiston needs a timeout. 1:54 left in the third quarter. The 37-32 lead for the Eagle Indians. And the timeout, which will be Hermiston's second of the game, is going to be a 30.
30 seconds.
Trip to Herd River on Tuesday and Pendleton on Friday night. A minute and 54 seconds left here in the third quarter. We got started kind of late here tonight, and that's why we're considerably behind the girls' game. So this is a Hermiston timeout we're coming out of. The Dalles-Wahtonka by 5. Bulldogs tied this game for the first time since 2-2 at 30-30 with 5:34 left in this quarter. They scored with 5:17 left to go up 32-30. They haven't scored since then. There's a turnover in the backcourt. A travel is going to be called. Nurden was knocked to the floor as he dove for the ball, battling with Fligg, and he got control and slid across the floor. Vern Carlson called him for the travel. Hermiston ball. Wyatt to inbound on the far sideline in front of the Hermiston student section. Fligg has it now to the near side for Schwarzy. Schwarzy up top to Fligg, right wing. Ortiz. No, it's over to Schwarzy left side. Down on the baseline, Grit spins to his left on the block. Dumps it across. Wide open Wyatt on the right wing to lay it home. Lucas Wyatt, third bucket of the ball game. And it's a 3-point game. A foul in the backcourt on Schwarzy. It's going to be the third team foul on Hermiston.
That's his first personal foul.
Schwarzy's first. Minute 26 left. Hermiston's deficit is 3 at 37-34. That was the first points for Hermiston in almost 4 minutes. Up top for Wilson, out to the right side. Byers will attack around. Grits comes into the hoop. Gets blocked from behind by Grits. Ortiz up court. Fligg one-on-one with Nurden. He'll get right past Nurden and lay it home. Fligg brings the Hermiston deficit down to 1. 37-36 for the visitors. 1 minute left in the third quarter. Nurden up top. Out onto the right wing. Into the hands of Sugg. Right into the paint. Turnaround Byers. The jumper over the top of Ortiz. He knocks it home. Byers has 12. 39-36 with 45 seconds left in the third quarter. Grits bounces Ortiz. Now to Fligg. Bounce pass down into left quarter and a block on a Schwarzy three-point attempt. Hermiston ball out of bounds on the baseline. 38.1 seconds left. 3-point lead for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Grits to inbound on the baseline. And coming into the game for the Dalles, the first time tonight, for the first time tonight, Tanner Byers, sophomore. They get it into Ortiz. Ortiz circles out to the left wing. Crosses over to his left. 18-footer, front iron off, and the rebound is secured. Taken away, though, by Grits. Grits throws it across the lane. It's going to be taken right back by Byers, and Grits knocked it away, but out of bounds on the baseline. 26.2 seconds left in the third quarter. 39-36. It's the Dalles-Wahtonka's lead. Full court pressure shown by Hermiston. Grits knocks a pass out of bounds. And so it will be Byers to inbound again. This is the younger Byers, Tanner. Nurden will inbound it this time. Grayson Byers is on the bench getting a little rest here at the end of the quarter. High pass, Sugg gets in front of the Hermiston bench. Loses it, gets it back, and gives it to Nurden. Bounce pass far sideline. Ortiz knocks it away. Should have got a foul there.
Yeah, he should have.
He got right across the arm of Tanner Byers. Byers called for losing it out of bounds. Hermiston ball, 19 seconds left in the third period, 39-36. Fligg walking across the timeline. Ortiz wants it at half court and has it. Adam Strom directing traffic. Wants to bring everybody low. Puts Ortiz in a one-on-one. Ortiz coming to his right. Around two defenders. Slips up out to the left wing for the tie. Fligg rolls in and off the front iron at the end of the third quarter. 39-all. Jake Fligg hits the triple to end the third, and it's tied at 39. We'll be back with the fourth quarter after this 60-second break on 1360 KOHU. Well, there's been nothing traditional about this one, that's for sure, but we're tied at 39, so let's say everything's square with 8 minutes left. Dalles-Wahtonka with the ball, attacking left to right. Stephen Bartels into the game, gives to Zach Nurden out on the left wing, guarded by Nico Gritz. Left elbow, it's Justin Sugg coming to his right all the way across the lane. Ortiz gets the block, takes it right away from him. Ortiz coming to the action, 4-1 for Hermiston, bounces to Gritz left side, he gets the lay-in. Nico's first bucket of the ball game, Hermiston back out in front. 41-39, then a steal by Fligg. Gives, CJ Flores comes up, Bucky's fouled, and will go to the line to shoot two. Nurden got him on the arm. It is foul number 5 on the Dalles-Wahtonka, and Hermiston has a chance to get their largest lead of the entire ball game with a couple of free throws here by Flores.
Yeah, there's nice energy. Nico has come in and given him some really good play. It's same as Wyatt. He just has been making the plays out there.
Flores hits the first. CJ has been battling a little bit of a cold, so he has not played a ton tonight. Alex Ortiz has 21. He's down to the other end of the floor. Ortiz and Fligg and Flores, Gritz and Wyatt for Hermiston. Sugg and Matheson and Malcolm and Copper and Byers. Full court pressure for Hermiston. Ortiz knocks the ball down on the near sideline. He and Matheson get tied up out of bounds. Last touch by Alex. It'll be the Dalles-Wahtonka's ball on the near side. 33 seconds gone in the fourth quarter. 43-39, Hermiston's advantage. Gritz guards Byers, and Gritz will be with Byers everywhere on the floor. This is Grayson Byers. The other Byers, Tanner, the younger one, is on the bench right now. Between the circles, Bartels. Out onto the right wing, Matheson. One dribble, and he gives up top. Copper out to the left side for Byers. Gritz still with him. Malcolm almost loses the handle, gets it back, kicks it out to the left wing. A triple up by Matheson, back iron miss. Fligg ties up the rebound and coming the other direction for Hermiston. Ortiz on the right wing. Slows up, hesitates, gets around Bartels, steps into the lane. The floater, no, and the rebound comes back off the iron. Malcolm gets the board out to the far sideline for Bartels. Bartels bring it up court. Hermiston's got to get back. Ball loose out of play, and there's going to be a reach and foul called on Hermiston. And they're going to get Flores for a reach. His first, fourth team. 6:47 left in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs lead is 43-39. Far sideline, Byers throws it to half court. Bartels is there. Bartels getting some space to work. He scored 9. They all came in the first half. Byers is now the Dalles-Wahtonka's leading scorer with 12. He had 5 last quarter. Here's a Bartels triple. It's a rounded out and a rebound for Gritz. Gives to Fligg for Hermiston. Slows up at half court, out to the right wing for Ortiz. Ortiz back to Jake. Fligg hit the three-pointer at the end of the third quarter, tie the game. Wyatt left corner, 3! Yes for Lucas Wyatt. Wyatt's got 9. Hermiston's got a big lead in this game, 46-39. Other end of the floor, Malcolm comes around. Ortiz can't get the lay-in though, and Fligg's got the board for Hermiston. And in the backcourt, a carry of the ball is going to be called. Are you kidding me? That's like holding in football. That can be called every single play of every single game. It better be called every other time tonight. 6:07 left in the fourth quarter.
And I'll tell you why. That's because Townsend has been lobbying for that.
That's a carry of the ball. That's a carry of the ball.
It is. I
That's
agree.
exactly what just got called. That's a carry of the ball.
Yep.
Flick tries to go for the steal. Malcolm keeps the possession. Bounce to the right corner. Bartels jumps up in the lane, comes to the right, lays it in. Bartels has 11. It's his first points of the second half. 46-41, the Hermiston lead. 5:44 left in the fourth quarter. Ortiz out on the far sideline. Pull up three on the right wing. It's a way long ball. Tipped up in the air to Flick, though. Hermiston gets another possession timeout for the Bulldogs. Full timeout with 5:34 left in the fourth quarter. 46-41 Hermiston. We'll take it as well. Back in 60 on 1360 KOHU.
Well,
Out of the Bulldogs timeout, they've got the ball up 46-41 with 5.5 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Jake Fligg, Ramon Contreras, Lucas Wyatt, CJ Flores, Alex Ortiz. Flores circles up top, throws out under the right wing for Fligg. Fligg bringing it back to the top of the key, gives to Ortiz. Ortiz with the back to the basket, hands off Flores, circling to his right. Picks up his dribble, backdoor pass, Contreras to the right side, lays it in. Hermiston executes perfectly out of the timeout. Ramon's second bucket of the ball game makes it 48-41. Full court pressure, they break it. And up across the timeline, Copper throws out to the far sideline. Malcolm can't handle it. Ortiz battling, gets a steal for Hermiston. Under 5 minutes left, Bulldogs up by 7. Fligg top of the key, edges to his left, down left corner. Contreras gives back to Ortiz. Now Flores up top. He's going to attack, gets fouled twice as he comes in. They're going to say it's on the floor because Bartels came and grabbed him around the chest. And so Bartels will pick up the foul. It is his third. And it's a 17th foul. If it wasn't Bartels, he got hit again as he came into the hoop. But it is the 17th foul. So Flores is at the line to shoot the 1-and-1. 2 of 2 from the free throw line. Hermiston as a squad tonight is, after that one goes, 8 of 9. One more for the junior. A transfer from Echo a year ago. Both are good. He's got 4, all from the stripe, and it's 50-41. This was the score in the last game. 4:45 left, and they lose it again. Flores has it, gives to Wyatt, up court, and we've got a double dribble called. Whoa. 4:41 left in the fourth quarter. 50-41. The Dalles-Wahtonka with an inbound in front of the scorer's table. Back into the backcourt, Bartels. Brings it across the timeline. They want to get it to Byers. Byers is checked everywhere by Contreras right now. Giving up a lot of height, but Contreras' job is just to keep the ball out of the hands of Bartels. Jump ball is going to be called. Flores tied up with Matheson. Matheson arguing his point. They had to call something because if it wasn't that, it was a travel on one of the two of them. The jump ball was the right call. Possession arrow Hermiston with 4 minutes and 28 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Bulldogs up by 9 at 50-41. Fligg across the timeline. Copper is guarding Ortiz everywhere he goes on the floor. Far sideline, Wyatt gives to Flores. Now to Ortiz. 21 points leading scorer of the game. Hasn't scored since about 5 minutes and 30 seconds left in the third quarter, though, as the Dalles-Wahtonka has really redoubled their efforts. Ortiz gets around his defender, hangs in the air and lays it in right over the top of Nurden. Full court pressure as Bulldogs lead is now 52-21. The other end of the floor, Nurden loses it, but he gets it back, throws it into Copper. Copper circling to his right, comes all the way to 10 and lays it in. Copper's bucket and now a timeout for Townsend. 3 minutes and 50 seconds left in the fourth quarter. The bucket there makes it 52-43. Hermiston still up by 9. Ortiz with 23 points. This is the type of senior night performance that you want to see. Gabby Heen hits 3 free throws. Jansen hits 2 of them. Hermiston wins 48-42. So the Bulldog girls, for the 3rd consecutive year, will be Columbia River Conference champions. The boys are trying to do the same. 52-43 with 3:50 left in the 4th quarter. This game's had a little bit of everything, and so nothing right now would really surprise me. The Dalles-Wahtonka is going to have Connor Matheson, Stephen Bartels, Zach Nurden, Grayson Byers, and Clay Copper. For Hermiston, who has the possession, Lucas White, Jake Fligg, Ramon Contreras, Alex Ortiz, CJ Flores. On the Lifetime Vision Source scoreboard, Pendleton's girls beat up on Hood River Valley 70-37. Ellie Richards with 32, including 8 3-point shots. Right wing for Flores. Back up top, and it's going to be Fligg now. Fligg comes over to the near sideline. Crosses back over. Creates some separation. Now he's going to attack. Gives to Flores. It's going to be Contreras, on the baseline. Hits a 15-footer. It comes around and down for Contreras. He's got 6, and it's 54-43. The 11-point lead for Hermiston equals their biggest of the game. They had 11 again just a minute ago. 3:12 left. Byers an answer triple the other end. It's going to be off the front iron. White the rebound. Hermiston's got the possession and up by 11. Fligg bounces far sideline. Ortiz. Ortiz onto the right wing. Underhand flip. It's going to be Flores. Flores back up top for Jake. Fligg with the left hand dribble. Yo-yos out to the near sideline. Coming to attack right around his defender. Picks up, kicks out right side. Ortiz for the triple. Front iron off. Rebound. Byers can't quite secure it. It's through his legs and picked up by White. Another possession, Hermiston. Fligg right around his defender. Into the left side. Floats one in. Jake Fligg makes it 56-43. It's the largest lead of the game for Hermiston. Fligg's got 10. The other end, a triple by Nurden. Front iron off. The rebound is tipped around. Copper touched it last. No, they'll say Contreras out jump. It's going to be the Dalles-Wahtonka's ball. Colby Alexander is going to come in. Alexander replaces Wyatt. Hunter Malcolm's going to come into the game for Nurden. Blocks and elbows for the Dalles-Wahtonka. Bartels to put it in play. Baskets to his right. Just under 2.5 minutes left in the 4th quarter. 56-43. Inbound pass. There's going to be a foul before the shot went up. And so it's going to be the 5th foul on Hermiston. And who are they going to give it to? Both officials had one. So then they got to decide who's going to get it. Going to go against Flores, his 2nd. 15 foul. Another baseline inbound. Bartels get in play. Left corner. Matheson a triple. The lefty shot is up. And there's going to be a foul on the rebound. And this foul is going to go against the Dalles-Wahtonka's Malcolm. His 4th, 8th team foul. And it was on the rebound, so we'll cut the other end of the floor. Who's shooting? And this was on the rebound. There were bodies in there, so Flores is at the line right now. I don't know if that's right, but it's smart because he's 4 for 4. 2 minutes and 26 seconds left of the 4th quarter. He missed that front end of the 1-and-1. Rebound is flipped away from Copper. Flores gets it back and lays it home. Townsend just hands on his hips. Not much he can say as Flores hits his first field goal of the game. There was some contact there. Now a foul on the other end of the floor. It's going to be against Fligg. It is his 2nd and the 16th foul on Hermiston. Far sideline inbound. Copper really just didn't get very good control. He went all the way to the floor, and that's how he lost the ball that Flores was able to pick up and lay in. 58-43. Hermiston is closing well. Up to Copper on the lob on the inbound. It's going to be rebounded by Alexander on the miss. Hermiston's got it. Flores gives the Fligg, and a travel of the ball is going to be called. 58-43 with 2:08 left in the 4th quarter. Contreras guarding Bartels, and he's called for a foul. Knocked it away from Bartels, but they say he got him on the arm. Ramon has his 4th foul. And it's a 17 foul. Joseph Burns will check into the game for Contreras. Bartels is at the line, a 1-and-1 situation for him. He is 2 of 2 tonight from the free throw line. And he misses. Ortiz gets the rebound. 2 minutes left. 58-43. Ortiz on the left lane, crosses over to his right, into the lane, dumps it off Alexander off his hands, out of bounds.
Beautiful pass.
A minute 53 left in the 4th quarter. 58-43. Bartels, as Hermiston shows some 2-2-1 full court pressure. Gets it across the timeline. They're going to let him get it across the timeline, just trying to slow him up, eat a little time off the clock defensively. Flig tips a pass. Matheson has it far sideline at half court. Throws it down into the left quarter. Bartels keeps it in. Got away with a walk. Now he drives baseline. Poked from behind, out of bounds. It'll be the Dalles-Wahtonka's ball off of the hand of Alex Ortiz. Erica Spain will come in. CJ Flores will come out with a minute 32 left in the 4th quarter. Still at 58-43, Hermiston's lead. Blocks and elbows. The Dalles-Wahtonka will have Bartels inbound. It's going to be Copper. He set a high pick and then rolled back to the hoop and laid it in. The Dalles have scored a couple of times on that play. Copper has 10 now. And Hermiston's lead is down to 58-45. That bucket ends a 6-point run for Hermiston. Now Byers has a steal on the other end of the floor. Dribbles, crosses over, and they're going to wave it off. And a foul's going to be called up top as Byers came down and hammered it home with the junk. It'll be a 1-and-1 instead. The foul on Alexander. It'll be his 2nd. And the 8th team foul. Lucas Wine will check in. Alexander will come out. I'm going to be honest, that's kind of hard to do on the fast break, to foul a guy and not get called for the intentional foul, but Alexander did it in a way that he was clean. Byers first is up. Byers first is good. He's got 13. That's the best for the Dalles-Wahtonka tonight. Bartels has 11. Copper's got 10. Those are the guys in double digits for the Eagle Indians. Ortiz with 23 and Flig with 10 for the Bulldogs. Byers good on both. Sub coming. They're going to get Byers out of the game with 3 fouls. No check that Copper's going to come out. And into the game instead is Austin Wilson. Inbound goes into Burns, and he's fouled in the backcourt by Bartels. Bartels has his 4th. And Joseph Burns will come to the other end of the court and shoot the 1-and-1. That is the 9th team foul on the Eagle Indians. So Joseph Burns is scoreless, the 5'8" senior. It's nights for him, and Ortiz, and a Spain, and Cadenas. Burns, the righty, 4 dribbles, tees it up, the shot, good. Gets another free throw, has a chance to get Hermiston 260 with a minute 10 left. The Dalles-Wahtonka, with 70 seconds left in the game, is facing a 13-point deficit, 60-47, as Burns makes them both. Full court pressure. Byers breaks it, gets away up court to Wilson. Is fouled, and will go to the line to shoot 2. So they broke that full court, and with 1:03 left, the clock is paused on the foul against Erica Spain. It is his 3rd. And so Austin Wilson, who is scoreless tonight and missed his 2 free throws he took in the first quarter, is at the line. He hits his first and will attempt one more. Wilson's second is good, and a timeout. No, just a sub. Wilson out, Copper in. 60-49. The Dalles-Wahtonka scored 4 in a row. Hermiston's lead is 11. As Spain inbound, far sideline, White back to Spain. And now Burns. Up across half court, the errant pass, and Ortiz somehow keeps it in play. Bounce pass to a wide open wide on the left wing. 54 seconds left. Hermiston just milking clock. Byers comes out on Spain. As Spain throws out on left wing, Burns back to Ortiz. Ortiz continues to dribble at half court. Crosses over around one man. Jump stop it in the lane. Comes with the right hand left. Got fouled, and he'll go to the line to shoot a couple.
It's on Bartels, I believe. Yes, it is. His fifth.
Steven Bartels fouls out. He'll finish with 11 points. And Zach Nurden will come into the game. The thing about it is, if you're going to foul, you got to do it way earlier than that. There were about 19 seconds that came off the clock. Ortiz, who's been perfect at the line, has a 1-and-1. Excuse me, he has 2. That was the 10th team foul. And Alex Ortiz, after this free throw, if he makes it, is going to get his curtain call. And he does. Alex Ortiz, for one final time, gets the curtain call from the home crowd. He'll finish with 25, and it is Pedro Cadenas, the senior role player, comes into the game to finish out the last 35. Matheson on the baseline, comes left, can't get the layup to go with his left hand. Rebound, Malcolm put back, he's fouled. And that's how Cadenas will get into the scorer's book. And so 2 free throws coming for Hunter Malcolm. 28.7 seconds left. And Hunter Malcolm, who is 1 of 2 from the free throw line tonight, is at the line to shoot a pair. That was also the 10th team foul on Hermiston. Malcolm gets the first to roll. Second one could cut it down to a 10-point game, but too great with too little time left for the Dalles-Wahtonka at this point. Second one's off anyways as Spain gets the rebound. Gives to Fligg. Fligg working the handles across the timeline, flips it up court to Joseph Burns. Down under the baseline, Cadenas to the left block, can't float one in. It's tipped back to Cadenas, kicks it out to Spain. 15 seconds left. Fligg's got it. They're trying to get it into Cadenas. Down under the block again. Cadenas stuck into a triple team, has it knocked away. Matheson gets the steal. Matheson dribbling it, and will throw a baseball pass up court. Caught by Copper, comes to his right, lays it home at the buzzer. Copper will finish with 12 on that shot. But Hermiston survives, pulls away, dominates the fourth quarter, that's for sure. Outscored the Eagle Indians 21-13 in the fourth. 61-52 is the win for Hermiston tonight. We'll wrap it up here after a 2-minute break. We'll be back with your postgame show on 1360 KOHU.
And a good day was had also in the Dalles-Waktonka. The Hermiston Varsity girls win 48-42.
Forty-eight, 42.
Back at Hermiston High School, Eric Olson and Sonny Levy with you tonight as the Bulldogs win 61-52. They improved to 6-1. They dropped the Dalles-Wahtonka to 5-3. They win the Columbia River Conference title. Even if they lose their last two, and the Dalles-Wahtonka wins their last two, Hermiston's got the tiebreaker. They've got the tiebreaker over Pendleton. Hood River Valley is out of this thing altogether. So the Bulldog boys, congratulations, definitely in order. This one was weird, is what it was. It's just kind of, there was a tale of, I don't know, 3 different games. That first quarter, and Sunday night halftime, we were both pretty critical of the silent night idea. I understand it. I don't like it on senior night because there's already enough emotional issues that can surround that game. Tonight it definitely hurt because the team there was an emotional kick missing. But they eventually found it, and then that second and third quarter was really just back and forth basketball. Neither team executed spectacularly, but they both made enough baskets that they stayed in it with each other. And then in that fourth quarter, Hermiston exploded for the victory tonight. I don't know. That's what I think happened. Does that sound about right?
Yeah. I still didn't like it. I thought it took our crowd a long time to really get back into it, even though right up until the very end when we absolutely put the pressure on with the defense to go ahead and take control of this basketball game, it took almost the rest of 3 quarters just to get our crowd, and I think to get the energy level back up in this gym. I mean, we're used to, Eric, not even being able to hear. We're not, the band drowns out the crowd at times also, but we're used to winning an exciting game of not even being able to really hear ourselves. And only twice did it get that way tonight.
Well, it's a win.
It's a win.
It's their last home game, and they got to win, and it will be their last home game. But they're going to go into the postseason. Most likely they're going to go in as the number 24 seed. I don't see how that's going to change because they're at 27 right now. But the conference champion of every league in 5A gets an automatic bid into the postseason. So I expect they're going to be on the road, and I expect it's going to be against whichever team finishes number 9. Although in the play-in round they might shuffle some matchups to avoid same league matchups. Well, they will do that. Whether or not that impacts Hermiston is to be determined, and also it's to be determined a couple of weeks away because Hermiston plays next Tuesday. They play again next Friday at Hood River and then at Pendleton, but the regular season, quote unquote, doesn't end for another week after that. There's a dead week that's been built into the schedule, so where the official cutoff date isn't till that weekend of the wrestling state championships in a couple more weeks. So for Hermiston, they've got 2 more games on the slate. They're both next week on the road at Hood River Valley, and then next Friday night we'll be back with the boys at Pendleton to try to wrap up this season. The Hermiston girls also win, and they won a tight one, and they hit free throws down the stretch to get that victory tonight against the Dalles-Wahtonka. So both teams secure Columbia River Conference titles here on this Friday in February. Take another break on the post-game show. We are hoping to get a chance to talk with Alex Ortiz, and we'll get you some final statistics as well tonight from Hermiston High School after another 2-minute break on 1360 KOHU. Welcome back to Hermiston High. The Columbia River Conference champion Hermiston Bulldogs beat the Dalles-Wahtonka 61-52. Did you? Columbia River Conference champions. There you go. Just number one, Columbia River Conference champions. I'd been saying they could share the title because if they lost 2 and the Dalles-Wahtonka won 2, it could theoretically happen. But they'll be the number 1 seed because they've got the tiebreakers over both Pendleton and the Dalles-Wahtonka with the wins here this week. The win here Tuesday, the win here tonight against Pendleton and the Dalles-Wahtonka respectively. And Hermiston will be the number 1 seed. They improved to 6-1 in the conference, 8-13 overall. For the Dalles-Wahtonka, they fall to 9-13 and are now 4-3 in the CRC. On the Lifetime Vision Source scoreboard, here's what we do know. The Hermiston girls, after a sluggish start, do end up getting the victory, 48-42 tonight in the Dalles. They get the win in Kurt's Gym. They also lock up the Columbia River Conference number 1 seed with the victory. Also on the Lifetime Vision Source scoreboard, I believe this locks up the number 3 seed in the Big Sky East on the girls' side, a 61-31 win for Ione. In fact, I know it does because Nicalway lost at home to Condon Wheeler's girls this evening as well. So Ione will be the number 3 seed, Echo will be the number 2 seed in girls' ball, and Condon Wheeler's the number 1 seed. The Ione boys won at, they were playing down in Redmond or wherever, the Cascade Christian. 76-19, Ione's boys dominate on the road as well. And what else do we know? We know that the Hood River Valley girls lost to Pendleton. Ellie Richards went wild tonight, 70-37. And Richards had 32, 8 3-pointers in the game. As the Bulldogs will still have their 2-game lead over Pendleton and now a 2-game lead over the Dalles-Wahtonka in girls ball as well. So 61-52, the Hermiston boys win. Why don't we get with some stats for you here and wrap things up this evening. For the Dalles-Wahtonka scoring tonight, 1 point for Justin Sugg, 2 points apiece for Connor Matheson and Austin Wilson, 4 points for Zach Nurden, 6 points for Hunter Malcolm, 11 points for Stephen Bartels, who fouled out of the game, 12 points for Clay Copper, and 14 points for Grayson Byers. For Hermiston tonight, Colby Alexander, Joseph Burns, Nico Gritz each had 2. 6 apiece for Ramon Contreras and CJ Flores. 9 points for Lucas Wyatt, 10 points for Jake Fligg, and 25 points for Alex Ortiz. Some of the other stats, Sonny, that stand out.
For the Dalles-Wahtonka, total rebounds of the game, 26. Total turnovers, 20. For Hermiston, total rebounds, 27. We were able to go ahead and take this advantage of the rebound game this time around. Turnovers, we also took that one with 23. But one of the biggest things was the Dalles-Wahtonka left too many free throw lines off. They were 11 for 20 from the line. Hermiston was 13 of 16, also hitting 5 3-pointers, and the Dalles-Wahtonka hitting just 2, I believe it was. 3.
Wins for the Bulldogs all over the place against the Eagle Indians here tonight. And congratulations on the Columbia River Conference number 1 seed on both the boys and girls side with wins over the Dalles-Wahtonka this evening. Thanks for joining us here tonight. We're going to sign it off for now for our studio engineer, Riley Mulvihill. He's Sonny Levy. I'm Eric Olson. We'll be back on the air next Tuesday night with the Hermiston girls here at home against Hood River Valley. Here, I'll tell you this. Here last time when Hood River was here, it was 71-17 the Hermiston girls. At Hood River Valley, it was 77-29. You want to do Silent Night? You can do that Tuesday night, that's for sure. All right, that's going to wrap it up here this evening from Hermiston High School. For Sonny, I'm Eric. Have a good rest of your Friday. Enjoy the weekend, and we'll talk to you again soon.